Welcome to another quick review and testing video from Ultimate DIYer. Today we have a 12-inch LED light made from Stir Curran, and we are going to test it on our testing wall. Now, a couple of things about this light. This light actually has its own remote control that you used to make it dimmable. So I do have a dimmable switch here, and we're going to see how it works with that dimmable switch, but I'm going to tell you ahead of time before I even open this up and install it. Anytime it has a remote, a dimmer switch on the wall will make it hesitate when it starts up because it's reading your remote and it's trying to read the circuitry inside of the little brain in these dimmer switches. So it'll always have a hesitation, just so you know that. So technically, if you get this system, you do not need to put a dimmer switch on. You need to go ahead and put a regular switch. But I want to test it with a dimmer just so that we can see if you lose the remote, can you still dim it? So we're going to check that out. All right, a few things about this one. Now, you can read most of the stats up above, but I do want to point out some things on it. This is an all-metal construction. The actual glass that goes on the bottom is real glass. It's not plastic. A lot of your cheap knockoffs are going to be plastic. This will be a glass system. So glass and metal. It has 5 temperature settings. It's going to go all the way from very warm, like twilight type lighting, all the way to bright daylight. And what that means is you can use this unit anywhere from a hallway to a kitchen, bedrooms, laundry room. You can use it throughout the house, and you can set that temperature to what you want it to be. Now, one of the cool things about this is you'll actually adjust this unit with the remote control. You don't necessarily have to set stuff on the actual unit itself. A lot of units you're going to have to set that once. Like if you want daylight, you set it at daylight. That's it. That's all you're going to get. You have to unwire it, bring it down, and change a flip switch. This one will adjust on the remote. Now, I will tell you also, this comes with the remote, but it does not come with the batteries. You're going to need 2 AAA batteries to make this unit work. All right, so let's open up the box and see what you get. So I'm going to move all my tools aside here for a second, and let's just open it up. Now, it's going to come nicely wrapped like this. This is the actual LED unit, and the LEDs are going to be built in. And what that means is you're not going to have to be replacing bulbs. For the life of this unit, you don't put bulbs in it. It's built in, all at the bottom. Now, they are going to give you the wire nuts. They're going to give you the 2 little screws you need to mount it up to your can. We're going to set that aside right here. They give you some instructions, and they also give you a list breakdown to make sure you have all the parts you're supposed to have. The part that goes onto the can up here to mount is already set on the actual light fixture, and you have these little black nuts here that you're going to unscrew. Take that off, and we're going to mount it up there. So basically, all this is going to have is 3 wires. You're going to have this bare wire right here, which is going to be your earth ground, and you are going to have a neutral, which is white, and you're going to have a black wire, which is going to be your hot wire. Those are the only connections you're going to make. Now, we're not going to connect the earth ground on this because it's just for a quick demonstration, but when you actually do that, on the bracket here, it has a green screw. That will get tied to that green screw once it is mounted up here, and you will take your earth ground down and mount it as well to the bracket. These others are just going to be white to white, black to black, single wire nut. That quick, it's done. So that is the unit here. Now let's see, does this have any kind of temperature setting? I do not see an actual flip switch in here. It has a spot where you could have put it on here, but I'm assuming that this is going to be done strictly with the remote, like I said a while ago. So we're going to set that over here to the side, and let's see what else comes in the box. They have it wrapped really nicely with a lot of foam to make sure that nothing gets broke. There is your remote. The batteries are going to go in the back here, and it's going to be the AAAs. So we'll go ahead and put those in right now just so that you can see how they go in. Just like that. Super quick, super easy. and now your remote is up and ready to roll. Let me go ahead and show you a couple things on the remote. You have a moon button, you have a brighter button, a dimmer button, you have a K minus and a K positive, you have a 20%, you have a 50% and 100%, you have warm, cold, and white. All of that is built into the remote already, so you don't need the dimmer and you don't have to set it on the actual light, which saves you time later. Now get in here, you're going to have this part. This is what is going to screw into the actual light fixture right here with your diffuser at the bottom. So the diffuser is what I was trying to say a while ago, is glass and not plastic. A lot of these diffusers that you find on cheaper units are going to be plastic. This is actually glass, a really nice unit. I like glass. I do not like the plastic ones. The plastic ones tend to yellow over time. This is not going to yellow. You can pull this down, you can wash it out if you get dirt, dust, little bugs maybe getting in there, who knows, because bugs are drawn to light. So you can wash it out and clean it up. And that is pretty much it, guys. So that's all you have. The rest of this that's in here is just the foam that holds this in place. So super simple, super easy. We should be able to wire this up in just a matter of minutes, even with me holding this. Now, one thing I'm going to point out, and I'll probably mention it when I start wiring it in, is that if you have a ladder under here, you could put the box like this, and you could actually set your unit upside down here and get it close to that and wire it in. So that's a one-person job if you are able to do that. If not, you may have to have a second set of hands to hold it in place for a second while you just put the two wire nuts on and then get it started. So keep that in mind. It's going to be a little awkward for me trying not to block the camera view and trying to hold it up and put wire nuts, but it's not that difficult. Easy to do and quick. So without any further ado, guys, let's go ahead and let's get this thing wired in and let's see what it looks like. Okay, guys, so the very first thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to test for power. Now, I'm using a no contact tester right now. Show nothing. If I flip the switch, I have power. Flip the switch off, no power. Now, I would suggest flipping that off at the breaker, but I know exactly where the power is coming from here, and I have it wired in direct right now, and I know that I am dead. You'll always get a little beep when you go to your neutral. That's kind of normal. Turn that off, and let's go ahead and get started. Now, the unit's going to come like this. This is your light. This is the piece that is going to mount on. You're going to pull these down. You will disconnect your old light, pull it off the same way this is going to go on, and you'll have your wires stripped. Now, I do have an earth ground here. I'm not going to hook it up for the demonstration purposes, but your earth ground is going to go on this clip. There is a green screw. That is where your earth ground goes. Now, they have this set so that you can undo it here with the little screws. Just take this loose and set this aside so you can get your bracket off. Okay. And the bracket itself just comes off. Now set this aside for a second. First thing we need to do is we need to mount this. You are going to see that you have two holes here. You're going to want to take and mount that with the screws that they provide into that right here. Now, if you don't have a screw gun, that is fine. You can use a screwdriver. I have a screw gun to speed this process up a little to show you. If you're going to get it up in there like so. Let me back that out just a little. There we go. Just like that. And we're going to get the other one. And now we are going to mount it the same way. There we go. That's nice. All right, so there's our two wires. Now they give you a third wire nut in case you were doing your ground. Now your ground will go right here. You will loosen this. So here is my earth ground. I would loosen that, wrap the earth ground around, and crank that down, and my earth ground would be taken care of. said, I'm not going to do it for demonstration purposes. We're just going to go ahead and hit our neutral and our hot. So now we take the light, and you're going to hold the light up here. These are already pre-stripped for you. I generally will start with my earth ground first, then my neutral, and then I will do my hot. So we're going to do it just like this. Now generally if you're working off a ladder, it's a little easier because you can put something up on the top of the ladder, a box or something to set your light on while you wire. But I'm trying to do this in the air so that you guys can see what is going on. Alrighty. That's stripped back a little far. There we go. Twist it until it doesn't want to twist anymore. Generally, you will notice that your wires start twisting together. Another good thing about doing your earth ground, which here it is on this side, so you would do the earth from into your wire to here, from the light fixture to there, but that also helps hold the light fixture while you're working. All right, here's our hot wire, and we are going to put on the cap. There we go. Now just push your wires up inside, just like that. And now we will line up our holes. There they go, right there, lined up. Then you'll take those little black nuts that they gave you and you will put it back on. And here. Now before I put on my cover, we can check the light real fast and make sure that we got a good connection. We'll get this cranked down. There we go. Flip on the light. And there's our light. Now, I'm going to have a little bit of a delay here because I'm running it through my dimmer over here. All right, so now we have this piece. And we have our glass bottom here. So we're going to put this in just like that. And we're going to line it up. And you just start turning it clockwise until it lines up. And you get it nice and snug. Okay guys, so there it is. It is in. It was that quick. It went in extremely fast, extremely easy. Let's flip the switch. There we go. Now let's see if the dimmer on the wall works. Yes, it does. I can actually dim from the wall. But it does not work really great. It works okay. Let's try it again. Let's see if I can get it down a little. There we go. There we go. Well, actually it does work pretty good. All right. So right now I have power off and all the lights are basically off in here. I have just enough light so that you can see me over here working, but that way you can kind of see how this light is functioning. So I'm going to reach over. We're going to flip on the dimmer. Hesitation, but then boom, there it is, and it is on. So let's try it out and see. First of all, let's go ahead and hit our 20%. There's our 20. Let's go ahead and hit our, what is that, 50%. There's our 50. And now let's hit 100%. There's our 100. Now let's move down and let's hit warm. There's our warm light. You can tell there's a big difference there. It has a little bit more of a reddish tint to it. Now we're going to hit our cold. Cold is kind of icy almost. And then we hit our bright white, which kind of whitens everything up, especially if you're dealing with like drywall and things like that. Now let's hit our moon button. It should go back to warm. There we go. Like with twilight time, we're turning it down, wanting to watch TV or something like that. Now let's try using the little adjustment keys at the top and move this a little brighter. There we go. I'm holding it, getting brighter, brighter. Gets it pretty bright. And that's in that warm function. So it's still kind of the warm light, but as bright as you can get it in warm. And then we're going to go down here, just like that, and I can get it really, really dim. almost to being totally off. Now let's try our bright white here. There we go. Now let's see if we can make this brighter. Hold it down, and there we go. We are getting really bright. Actually, that's really nice. So there you go, guys. Installed super quick, super easy. I love all the adjustments. I love the remote. I love the fact that I can use a dimmer switch if I have to, if I lose this remote, because that always worries me when I pick something like this up. What happens if the kids run off and lose this? What happens if it ends up down on a sofa? What am I going to do then? Well, now I know I can use this unit even with a regular wall dimmer. So be sure if you're going to order this that you have a couple of batteries sitting there ready to go, but outside of that you should have everything you need out of the box to get this installed in just a matter of minutes. Super simple. So do yourself a favor, guys, pick one of these up today, put it in your kitchen, put it in your hallway, put it in your bedroom, put it in your utility room. This thing will work pretty much anywhere in the house. Hope this helps. We will see you guys on the next one.